Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome to the virtual Brewery Artwalk. Hi, guys. How are you? We'll get started in just a few moments. Right now, just go ahead and see if you can find the chat option. You go into the chat, you can see an option to send a message to all panelists and attendees. That way you guys can comment, talk to each other, ask questions to the artists, ask me questions. We have our host here, Mitsella from the Brewery Artwalk Association. She's hosting. I'm Magella. I'll be your camera girl today, your guide. There's a chat option in the bottom right-hand corner. You should be able to find it where you can type in any questions you might have today on our tour for any of the artists. Yeah, we'll get started in just a few moments. There's also a Q&A option. Please do not use the Q&A. I think Richard Tucci just put a question in the Q&A. I cannot see the Q&A. It doesn't update the same way that the chat does. So throw your questions into that chat box. You can see that some people are already posting in there. If you're just joining us, find that chat option and just tell us where you're joining us from. Where is everybody from? Let us know. Great, Richard, you found it. Perfect. We got some locals here. All right, guys. Cool, so we're gonna get started. So welcome to the Brewery Artwalk. This is the largest live-work arts colony in the world. Began in 1903 as the Edison Electric and Steam Power Plant. I'll show you a little bit more about that later. And as Eastside Beverage Company, was bought by PBR after World War II. It was a PBR brewery for a long time. In 1979, the Carlson Industries bought the place. And they are actually the people that subdivided the buildings and converted it into the Brewery Arts Loft, which is what it is today. I will be telling you some more history in between artists, but for now we're going to get started with our first artist, mixed media, collage, and painting. Hello. Like in my head, and so painting and doing the mixed media work gets out of my head, and especially with the pandemic. I've been doing drawings, which just kind of also help get me out of my head. It's like art therapy. But my main form of art is my painting. I'm an abstract painter, and I pour and drip and play with color and texture, and I'm influenced by like Hans Hofmann, who talks about push and pull, like placing different colors next to each other and to see how they react. Especially with like these pieces, actually with all of it, you know, placing, of course, green and red next to each other, but different shades and how they play with the eye. And then with these, the many, many layers that form the textures. And these, as I've talked this weekend, I realized kind of are, I don't know, there's something about the comic books that comes out in these, and I like comics. And so like the idea of blam and wham and, poof and, just like that intense feeling that you get in the comics kind of came out in these paintings. And I use interference paint. So when you move when you look at the paintings from from different angles, they kind of change color a little bit, especially based on what colors are represented. But I also love Jay DeVeo, whose work is like really intense and layered and thick. And so my next piece is I'm going to go even thicker. Gonna really build up the paint and the color and see how that works. This is something I've been playing with recently. It's called My Imaginary Wall. And some of my drawings are also by that name. And this all started during the pandemic, when I was looking more into myself, being more introspective. And because I have an eating disorder, and so I'm always trying to work on myself. And so thinking about my imaginary wall is like in my head, what's holding me back from doing so many things that I want to do in my life, in the world. And so I realized my imaginary wall is built up of dots, like these little like dots. And I've done like so many different versions of these. And so besides the drawings and the, circles and then with the magnets, and then I did stickers on a glass door. And so just playing with different versions of what that means to me and as a form of, art therapy. And so circles and dots also come back in many different ways in my work, whether it's the panels that I use to paint on or to do the mixed media work on, or like the circles. That's just like a natural thing that I do, a motif in my work, playing with the mini circles and again, the layering of the paint. And even, for as far back, the drips and the dots, especially in this work here on this wall, I actually took a paint pen and I outlined the drips and dots. And it's a way of controlling chaos, which, we can really get psychological about that. But I did it, even more, you could see, which also harks back to like comic books and animation and, which I've really loved. But it's, playing with the layers and again, the interference to see how it changes based on what color the different paint is. And
there's like a see-through kind of translucent paint.
I love playing with the translucency and also happy accidents. Like, in a lot of this work, like the paint pen actually bled, but I love the effect. And I'm like, I just kind of let it go. And it did something, I don't know, it forms like this river of something in there. With my art, like I also paint on things. So in this, because of my eating disorder and because of I deal a lot with food, this is representative of a cake. And so I poured and dripped. There must be 100 different layers here. And I love how it pooled at the bottom. And then this piece is, of course, a Hershey's bottle, because that is my binge food, hot chocolate and, on ice cream. And, I let it also pool on the bottom. And what I did was I love playing with the idea of skins and kind of with the metaphor of, living in a comfortable skin or living in an uncomfortable skin and what that feels like. And so on one of the Hershey's bottles, I actually peeled off the plastic. And this is on the outside or the inside, it actually peeled off the Hershey syrup name, all the labeling, which I'm trying to figure out how to actually present this. So you could see both sides. But through all of my work, these are paint skins that have come from the pores and drips as I've peeled off, from the different plastic and that I paint on. And they've just many, many years worth of paint skins. And I love these. And I want them to be like a sculpture, or something. I mean, they're big enough. I could mold them almost, into anything I want. But and then the biggest project that I've been working on recently is called Perceive Me. I even have a tattoo, Perceive Me, and and because my work is also about body image, I actually invited 60 artists to paint, draw, sculpt, videotape, photograph me nude. And so it's all about my body, all about being plus size, body positivity. But it's a way, Perceive Me has to do with the idea that often our self-worth is taken by what others think of us. And, it's just ingrained in us. And so I wanted to show that that's not true. That, I mean, I wanted to talk about beauty and see what that means. And I'm still a work in progress. I'm still trying to figure out what this means. But there was a big exhibition at Cal State LA in January and February, right before the pandemic. There were 600 people at the opening, and thankfully nobody got sick from it that I know of. But this is a catalog that came from it, and it has all of the artists listed with 4 different essays by Shannon E. Stanbrough, Rebecca Niederlander, Gary Brewer, and Leslie Leibowitz. And so this is what I have left of the exhibition. And then and the show's going to travel next year. It was going to travel up right now, but that all got delayed because of COVID. So, and then I'm honored. I received a grant from the Center for Cultural Innovation in the Department of Cultural Affairs for art supplies. And so I just restocked my Nova Color supply, or my Nova Color shelf here. So that way I can get to painting even more. And I'm going to buy some more panels, some large. I want to paint large. So for the next art walk, hopefully I'll have bigger work.
And I just found out about these Nova paints on the last tour, actually. So there's a few of the artists are using these, and they're local.
Yes,
right?
They're in Culver City. It's a mom and pop acrylic painting place. They're amazing. They are still in business. I had a bunch shipped to me. It was like 3 or 4 days. Amazing. Highly recommend. Their colors are beautiful.
And I want to show this one that we saw the other day.
Oh yeah, that is from my Plus series, and that was those photos. Each of the photos of me were done with my cell phone in a hotel room. I was staying in Ventura, and this was the door going into the bathroom. And I saw the light shining through the door, which is like a frosted glass barn door. And I saw the possibilities. So I got naked and I put my cell phone against a glass on the bed, put it on timer and bursts, and I shot about 350 photos in like different configurations.
So good.
And I had a show of that work also. But dealing with, my plus size body and how I'm able to move it and what it can do. So
so cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think we went out and came back in a little bit. So I just want you to introduce yourself one more time in case anyone missed it.
No problem. I am Christine Shoemaker, a multidisciplinary artist. You can go to my website, christineshoemaker.net, and you can find me on the breweryartwalk.com website under painting. So.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the tour.
Oh, it was so great to meet you. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, cool. So guys, you can also type in to the chat any questions that you have for the artists or any comments on their work, and I will read them. Again, this is the Brewery Artwalk virtual edition, and we are walking around here, the largest arts colony in the world. It was converted into Artist Loft in 1982 by Carlson Industries, because at that time LA passed an artist in residence code, which actually allowed artists for the first time to live and work in industrially zoned buildings, like warehouse spaces and things like that. So the brewery rented only to artists. And even though those have kind of changed a lot today, the Carlsons still rent exclusively to working artists. We are near the 5 freeway you can see ahead of us. Then there's the Pacific Union train yard on one side, and on the other side it is the UPS. It's one of the largest UPSs. I don't know if it's the largest. So I was talking a little bit before about how Con Edison had a steam and power plant here. It was actually this building, which we call the smokestack. This is the original smokestack from the power plant. It says brewery on it. It looks really good at sunset. You can see it actually from the 5 freeway. So we're gonna go into the annex side of the smokestack building now and see Claudia Elder Designs. Later on the tour, we're gonna see an architect called Telemachus, and they actually designed the inside of this building too. So you can see as we walk in, it's a building, but it's kind of been updated. So the designers, the architects, we're going to see later, they did this metal floor paneling and remodel of this. So we're going up to see Claudia Elder Designs. And actually her space has also been remodeled by the same architect. The studio used to be part of a gallery that was called the Brewery Project. And is a little project. You can see right here, this is the 101 freeway. This is kind of a map of the brewery, the Arts Brewery, and the surrounding highways. You can kind of see. All right, so let's get in and see Claudia. Hello. Hi.
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 How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. Hi, I'm Claudia Elder Designs. Welcome to my studio. This is a lived workspace. And it's also, I think, Telemachus studio might be on your tour later on today. So our architects and very close friends, Telemachus Studio, designed our space. We have our bedroom upstairs, and then the kitchen and the bathroom are back there. And this is my studio. I have a separate bench for metal and one for waxwork.
So cool.
Thanks. So I started about 20 years ago taking classes through local schools on metal smithing, wax carving, casting, lapidary, stone setting. So learning the mechanics and the craft of actually making jewelry. And I was practicing all of that on my dining room table until I could build a body of work. Some of which is here, and then I just keep adding on to that. First started out making stackable rings, and then adding stones and making engagement pieces. I love when I started out, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to, because I love jewelry, so I started thinking, oh, I'm going to emulate these antique pieces that I was collecting, but that's not really what came out of me. What came out of my work is just really clean, minimal, modern aesthetic, which I still think is timeless because it's clean lines. I think are always timeless and have some elegance about them. And as I grew, I do a lot of custom work. People find inspirations from the pieces that I make, and then they connect with me, and I set stones. I sometimes set their stones or source stones specifically for their projects. And I like things that are unusual, and it always starts with a conversation as to what are they celebrating? What do they want to remember? This particular lady right here, she had she inherited this cocktail ring from her mother, which was emeralds, which happens to be her birthstone, and she never had a birthstone ring. And her taste is more a wider, chunkier band. So I made this according to her tastes with the wider band, and then a sprinkle of the diamonds that were surrounding this lovely ring over here. I wanted to create something asymmetrical and celebratory for her. So I think she was quite pleased with it. I usually send a client a sketch ahead of time, give them several different options. This was originally a diamond that I also repurposed. This belonged in an engagement ring from another lady. And then I made the pendant, which was also asymmetrical. So I love asymmetry. I love the contrast between this domed, soft shape and then the clean lines and edges of the straight line. And you'll see that in a lot of my work. And then this lady, this is such a fun story. This lady contacted me from Alaska, and her dog died, and she was quite attached to the dog. It was a Labrador, and so we sourced this stone in the middle from Alaskan Labradorite, and we said it's in a yellow gold with a white gold shank. And she had taken an imprint of her dog's paw, which we then took a JPEG of and scanned it in and did a laser inscription on the bottom of the ring. And inside the ring is also like a keepsake. You know how the lockets sometimes have locks of hair. I asked her if she had a hair from her dog that we could incorporate onto the bottom underneath it. So she has her dog with her. So that was so touching.
It's also gorgeous.
Thank you. Well, in the work that I do with clients, when I'm interacting with clients, I'm trying to reveal their stories and how they want to celebrate the joy or maybe some memory that they have. And it's not just for engagement or things like that. It's certain landmarks in people's lives. I think it's important, and we attach meaning to several different things, you know. So for me, this is another piece. This is part of my collection. It's called the Power Ring, and this came about because I was looking for my own personal talisman to remind myself that I need to live in my own highest potential. And I was looking around and I was thinking I was going to make something out of a really big stone, something really blingy, but it ended up being this dome with the diamond set way, way below. And the idea behind this is that we all have something inside of us, something that is hidden. So it's not always visible to us or to the outside world, but when we dig deep, sometimes we have to dig deep to find it. That discovery of self changes our whole entire perspective of everything. And that gets reflected out. And so this is very symbolic of that, because you could tell from the side, the jewel is reflected and mirrored in the high polished surface of the inside. And I like that matte finish on the outside, which is kind of, it's a nice contrast and also makes the stone pop.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And then also, lately, I've been getting a lot more interested also in nature. And this collection, this is my newest exploration, is in nature and organic materials. And I call this collection Precious Objects for the Home. And I'm bringing the outside in. These seed pods have already cast their seeds. And one might look at them as being discarded, but they're not really. I mean, I feel like they're so beautiful in their own right and so precious in that they're leaving a legacy of possibility behind. And I wanted to honor that. And I've given them away. away as gifts to people who are maybe have a new house as a housewarming gift to symbolize the growing roots and setting foundations in their home, planting seeds. And so I'm quite pleased.
I love them. They look like they were hard to cast.
They are. They were really hard to cast, especially if something like this. This has a lot of crevices and open places, and the plaster does get caught in there. So then you have to grind it out. But just the whole, I mean, casting might theoretically sound really easy when you get to doing it. It is quite challenging, especially with organic materials. You really have to make sure that you completely burn out the material before you can put in the metal. So these are silver, sterling silver and bronze, and this one is also really cool. It's got this bronze, brass and copper combination in it, and I thought, oh wow, that came out really cool. You can see all the textures are still in there. These are all one of a kind. They're not from a mold, so each one is its own unique piece, just like the things that you find on the ground.
That's so cool. We have someone here named Sheila McFadden who said that she loves it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you for showing us your studio space.
Sure. And this is where you can find me.
Yes, and there's also a link in the chat, guys. If you guys want to click on that, or you can write this down, take a screenshot. Claudia Elder. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.
Bye.
We're off. Okay. Where are we going next,
So
Dustin?
we are going to see Madam X.
Oh, yes. That's the 5 freeway. Over here on the right is the Pacific Union Train Depot. We were talking about the smokestack building before. Used to be the Con Edison building, but now it is Stronghold Climbing Gym. They are actually the tallest climbing gym in Los Angeles. Community owned and operated. Such a great business. They do a lot of outreach programs for children and the disabled. They're a huge part of the LA climbing community. They do competitions there in the gym, and they're always usually open for art walk. Just showing you the smokestack here. Really cool. And Dustin told me that before it was Stronghold, this building actually was a filming location, and it appeared in Roger Rabbit. And I guess I've never seen Mouse Hunt. Is that live action?
Yeah, live action. Computer animated mouse, and it is the string factory in Mouse Hunt.
Oh, cool. I remember Mouse Hunt board. You can see over here is the garden, Brewery Artwalk, and some of the old industrial parts. Back end of the smokestack building. All these like metal plates look really cool and layered and rested in different ways. This is the back of the annex building that we were just in. And over there is 2-Bit Circus. They have their studio where they make a lot our experience in downtown LA that's kind of like an adult amusement game area. They make all original games. A lot of them come from STEAM, so getting kids into science and math, but a lot of them are also made for adults who drink beer, and they're super fun and creative and original. All of their games are totally new, so they're like arcade games, but they have different artistic if you're interested in that. And here are at X created the Human Being Society. She's a very mysterious artist. So I'm going to take you on a little journey here.
Are you human? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Then the Human Being Society is for you. Our down-to-earth network is 100% natural. We're better than plants, smarter than animals, larger than life, and beyond compare. Our spacious location is a mystery and easy to misunderstand. So don't get lost in the inexplicable. Tune in to the Human Being Society channel for instant orientation and lifetime direction for the being in you.
Okay, so I'm going to take you through Madam X's timeless archive of the Human Being Society. So here we have Madam X, greetings to human beings of Earth. And this is another sculpture of Madam X here. She has some pamphlets and a little booklet, so I'm going to read to you from this one.
Once there was nothing, only timelessness. It was discovered by Madam X, the first explorer to travel around the sphere of time. On this journey, Madam X encountered the internal culture, who revealed their knowledge of the timeless dimension to her and taught her about the progression of the time sphere. Madam X went on to travel through time, spreading the news of the eternal culture, the timeless dimension, and the unity of all being. As time passed, this message became alive and lived and died in the way of the sphere. It is remembered in the timeless dimension, as all time is, and was the foundation of the next era. An ancient explorer known only as Madam X has arrived, becoming the first man to travel around time itself, proving it to be a sphere. Her journey has been linked to those of the early European explorers, who proved by their journeys the spherical form of the Earth. According to the account given by Madam X, the extreme opposites of future and past are joined in a sphere by a timeless eternal segment, which she crossed during her journey around the sphere. The explorer known as Madam X has brought news of a timeless culture which she encountered during her journey through the eternal segment of the time sphere. According to the eternal culture, all time and dimension moves in one overall direction around the sphere, creating an illusion of opposites, as well as an illusion of beginning and ending. Beings of the eternal culture, understanding the design of the time sphere, see the eternal history of time and dimension as a unity, encompassing the opposites in dimension and the variations in time. According to Madam X, this spherical view of the infinite variety of phenomenon has enabled the eternal culture to expand consistently, without internal friction, and so move far ahead into the future. Crowds gathered at the official welcome for the ancient explorer, who has become the first to conquer the sphere of time. Speaking to all human beings, Madam X said that her journey marked the beginning of a new era of unity in the knowledge of the design of the time of the sphere of time. This unity, she explained, extends not only throughout the human species, but into all forms of time and dimension. Madam X said the new era is timeless, and that in the eternal culture will spread and unite all beings throughout eternal time. The circumnavigation and proof of the spherocracy of time alters our point of view. Time stops. An ancient explorer known as Madame X has arrived in 1980, claiming to have completed the first circumnavigation of the sphere of time. Madame X began her journey in an ancient culture and traveled into the past. Upon reaching the edge of the dimension, she entered into a dimensionless sphere, previously unknown and undiscovered. She had discovered the world of zero dimension, the world where time stops. This discovery proved to be the missing link in man's conceptual vision of time. From within the dimensionless world, Madame X observed the continual emergence of dimensions out of dimensionlessness, and the continual recession of dimensions into dimensionlessness. Seeing this caused the explorer to theorize time to be spherical, and to prove the theory, Madame X continued her journey through dimensionlessness and re-emerged in the dimension of time, present 1980. Madame X has brought many amazing discoveries from the dimensionless world. It is composed, she says, of dimensionless units which, having no time, are eternal. These dimensionless units are the base of the progression of units into dimension. Each passage of the progression through the eternal sphere is eternally marked by the dimensionless unit. Thus, the presence of eternal history is contained there. All dimensions, according to Madame X, are part of this progression through the eternal and finite spheres.
All right. Well, I just want to show you a few more things. Madame X's Time magazine. And over here you can see that if you're a human, then you're a lifetime member of the Human Being Society. So everyone on the tour, congratulations, you are now a lifetime member. And I will show you your option to purchase True Love. It's only $10, which I think we'll all agree is a bargain. And this is the amazing world of Madame X. So congratulations, you are all now lifetime members. And I want to thank Madame X for inviting us in. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. All right. Society. Amazing. I love that so much. All right. Here we go. We're going to see Nicole Fournier, and she does photography and mixed media photo transfers onto wax. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Oh my God.
She just woke up.
What?
So
I've never met you. Hi, I'm in love. Oh, baby. Oh my God, you're so soft. Okay, sorry, I got distracted.
Oh, no worries. Hi, guys.
Hi.
My name is Nicole Fournier, and I'm an acoustic artist with a concentration on photography. So I transfer my images into beeswax. So just to get a more hands-on approach with my art. So Everything's done. It's based on photography, but it's also kind of like a mixed media with painting involved as well.
What's your cat named?
Dolly. Surreal.
Amazing.
So yeah, she's gonna be interactive.
That's okay. I won't step on her.
So this piece, it's called The Things We See. This is about how we each see, based on our experience and the way we see the world, we'll bring our own content into the world that we see. And all the images along the edges are all public domain images that involve anything to do with eye surgery.
So you do all of the images separately?
Correct. They're all transferred individually. So I set up the grid in Photoshop, and then I just place the images so I know how big to make them. And so all the models I shoot in the studio here, and I just do all the transfers on the panel board.
And you can kind of see like lines over it. Is that from?
Yeah, there's a print restriction about like 25 inches. So what I did is I just kind of divided the image to fit the board.
So cool.
And that one is Core Essence. So those are all transferred individually into the surface. And encaustic is really good for layering. So that is all down first, and then the model, and then the heart on top of that.
Oh, and I don't think I saw these earlier. Are these little notebooks?
Yeah, just more things to do. I do image transfers in glue. So anything that's kind of like handheld.
Oh my God, look at this tiny TV.
Yeah, so just one of the commission portraits. So just trying to do different surfaces. Cool. So surgery piece. Yeah, like shooting nature and industrial images. Some late productions.
I love this little fly. It looks like it's almost 3D.
Yeah, that one is. Yeah, it's embedded. It's actually a bee that I
a
put
bee.
into the piece.
It's really cool. Yeah, I love how you can get so many different effects here. And is that paint?
Yeah. So it's oil paint mixed into the beeswax. So there's a couple image transfers here. So this center one, then the road piece, and then the birds were transferred separately.
And is that photo of the birds a bunch of different photos?
Yeah, not too many. They're mostly, I just repeated it, yeah. But they were all kind of like clustered when I took the picture.
Nice, I love how that one came out.
So this is an example of some commission work that I've done. So that one I really like. I think her name is Julia Cameron, that old photographer back in the late 1800s. She took a lot of pictures of female and nature situations. So I really like her work. So that inspired me to do that piece.
I love the noises coming out of this kitty. It's like, excuse, hello?
Loves attention.
Yeah, and this is so cool how you get kind of this translucent effect with the roses.
Yeah, so once you transfer the image and put wax on it, it just kind of becomes part of the piece. It becomes transparent. That's one of the older pieces I've done called Reality. I'm just experimenting on different surfaces. So I do like silver platters, computer motherboards. And I
like to shoot in abandoned buildings. So I did a kind of a series on those. And just to figure out, I thought to use the wooden panels like that. It was just a different way to kind of mount the images.
Yeah, and this is, you said you were from the East Coast, right?
Right, I'm originally from New Jersey. So that's an image I shot in Salton Sea. So it really looks like that, the place. So this is made up of a transfer that fits the whole piece. Then I just kind of doubled the image. So this is kind of pressed into the surface, the actual laser print. And all the color comes from oil paint that's actually mixed into the wax. And then I put red ink on the edges just to see what that would do. Mixed in.
Yeah, I feel like all of this layering just adds to like the old, like, you know, like kind of the aging effect. It's gorgeous.
That one, it's called Heartstrings. So I added strings. So that's one continuous piece of string that I just kind of wrapped around the nails along the edge.
Yeah, that's so cool. This one you can really see like all the different layers.
So each page in this piece was transferred separately. So it's probably like 30 image transfers in that piece.
So cool.
And what I like about this process, it's just very hands-on. You get like a lot of distress, really age kind of effects into the piece. So as much as you kind of play with the image, you can take as much or as little off as possible. So this is called, I think I remember this. Tethered by the Accord of Emotion. So it's just going through the different emotional stages of letting go. That's 3 by 7 feet. Hopefully I won't go any bigger than that. We'll see.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to say this.
Yeah. So I'm doing an art giveaway. So any of the pieces here on the table. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll pick a name at random and I'll probably announce that on Monday. So these pieces are image transfers in glue that I've covered in varnish. These little boxes. And these are encaustic transfers. I've tried them on a few on like bottles, just different surfaces.
Oh wait, can you hold that up so we can see?
Yeah, so it's a heart in there.
Cool.
Is that a candle?
Okay, so guys, enter the art giveaway. This is so cool. Get this little art behind the scenes. Thank you so much, Nicole. It was so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. All right, enjoy the tour.
Oh yeah, and the chandelier. Bye, kitty. Okay, cool. So that was Nicole Fournier. And next we're gonna go see Richard Wilkes, who's another mixed media, but more of a sculpture installation artist. Recycling smokestack building. As you can see, everyone kind of does a little different with their space. When they come into these spaces, they're very, very raw. And so the artists have a chance to kind of build their own workspace, their own living space. So you end up, oh, I shouldn't have gone this way. You end up getting a lot of really unique and different kinds of build outs because these spaces are so raw. So people can kind of create what they need, more of a workspace or photo studio. Hi.
Hey, welcome.
Hello.
Last tour of the day.
This is it. This is the last one.
Hey, good. Well, welcome. Oh, Welcome. So hi everybody, I'm Richard Wilkes and I'm a sculptor and I work a lot with steel and aluminum. Past couple of years I'm exploring waste plastic now. You can see a lot of it kind of down here, just collecting different household plastics, etc. And I got involved because the plastic pollution problem is just a big problem, and I wanted to try to use my art to bring more awareness to the issue as an artist and place some larger pieces. And this album right here is made from old bottle caps that were collected, a lot of ocean stuff, and some volunteers that collected. And it's a 1-ton elephant, and basically it's representing 8 million tons of waste plastic that flows from our land masses into the ocean each year. So I wanted to do something that just showed the scale. That's just one elephant. Imagine 8 million of them migrating into the oceans. So what I created to help use a lot of plastic and to explore the waste plastic world is I created this sculpture, call it a jelly. It's part of a larger concept of called liquid forest. So ultimately there'll be many of these coming together, and you can see the strobe lights are turning on, so at night it animates that zoetrope panel up above. I work with a lot of different ideas in my pieces. There's a lot of story, and in this case, this is about awakening, kind of a personal exploration. So at first I want to kind of draw you in, and then if you are curious enough and ask enough questions, you'll get to kind of the deeper story behind each piece. The next version is going to be like I said, a full collection of called Liquid Forest, and there'll be many of these at some point. And there's a lot of technology involved in them, and they're all run off of project phones. And this is an app that runs that piece right now. So I do anything I want to, run live video. So I had to put this fundraiser on hold at the beginning of the year, obviously with COVID. So that's on hold, but I hope to launch it at some point when we're all ready to get back into that real world or regular world again. And but I am moving ahead on the next Liquid Forest, and that's what I have over here. I'm sharing some different concepts that could be placed like in Grand Park, in retail and kind of urban settings. Again, it's all made out of waste plastic. All these rods that you see, that's all waste plastic. And this was it was placed at the Venice Afterburn this past year.
That's so cool.
Yeah, a lot of people got to get hands-on. So the work I do is very hands-on. So it's a little challenging for me because it's the pandemic time right now. So I'm moving these ahead slowly. But what I'm also working on some new machines here that during this COVID time, doing smaller scale stuff, and doing playing with some ideas that I really wanted to explore and give myself time to do that. So COVID's allowed me to just you can think of it as like a giant glue gun. Yeah, I work with a lot of materials and parts that you can get from like a Home Depot or that kind of place. So I try to do work that took some time to kind of put the parts and pieces together. I'm also part of a larger group called Precious Plastic. It's an international global community, and we're all coming together to try to solve this plastic problem. And engineers, there's architects, there's all kinds of biologists, there's lots of people involved in our group. So for me, I wanted to do some smaller pieces during this COVID time. And so in this case, I'm actually infilling like a stained glass piece, but I'm plasma cutting these aluminum panels. And these are just steadies right now, just playing with how the plastic flows into the spaces and what I need to adjust and all of that.
So you use all recycled plastic, and then that's how you get the different colors as well?
Yeah. So that's actually, I think I said this yesterday, but the blue comes from these lids from Lanza Brothers, the deli, down the street.
Yes.
And so they've been collecting for me. So I try to get community involved in both in collecting and then hands-on and participating. And so we've had our studio pre-COVID. We have workshops and meetups and that kind of thing that kind of just help be a community point for this kind of discussion. So I'm working on these smaller pieces that are these tabletop pieces. It shows how that moves around like that. Just kind of these.
Yes, I could do this for maybe half hour.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then some other things I'm working on. This is the rotocaster that I built. That basically, if you want to cast anything, instead of making it solid, this will make it a hollow. So it's basically when you put the piece in here and you spin it, actually has a motor. I'm just doing it by hand right now, but the piece sits in, and then the material has to the outside edges and makes it a hollow piece. And then the last piece I was working on, I'm still in the kind of experimenting stages, but this is basically it's a liquid extruder, and it allows me to do things that are bigger and really painting with plastic, if you will, in a much larger
Like
space.
a life-size hot glue gun.
Yes, yeah, like that. I kind of describe it sometimes as a 3D printer, but I'm a computer, but it really allows me a lot of this kind of freedom that I just can't get with, with my machines that are locked down. And then I was going to change it up on you a little bit. Oh, I didn't talk about the machines. Let's go hit those machines. So I actually wanted to do a demo this time, and I wanted you to participate.
Oh yeah,
so
man.
we're going to go ahead and put the cups in.
Okay. So we have our recycled cups.
Yeah. So that works. Yeah, there you go. And it's going to be loud, so this is.
I should back up.
We can't talk over this. Crunch down. So basically, they're crunching down into small bits we call flakes. And if you wanted to grab that scooper in there, get a big scoop. So now that we've taken just, old Tupperware and cups and things into flakes, we put them into this hopper of the extruder. So this machine basically melts it all down. So this is a motor, there's a giant screw in here. And it melts it through, these are heater bands under here, melts it all and injects it into, in this case, these tubes, because those are the same tubes that we use for the liquid forest project. So they melt in here, and then when they're done melting, they cool down, we pull them out. And that's what the final piece is. And then
this is so cool.
Yeah, and then sometimes we'll actually inject or insert them back into this oven. This is a giant oven, and can get up to 900 degrees. And so we'll go ahead and reheat these just so they're really flimsy. And then, so if you follow me over here, then, so what we're doing is now, and you can see that these are the original, what I'm calling tentacles, but all recycled. And then now we're taking that flexible and bending it on a new form. So we're gonna be playing with new shapes this time.
This is so cool. So you take these recycled tubes, and then this is just the form. Do you remove the wood after?
Yeah, ultimately, I'll have, when we're in full production, I'll have a piece that looks like this, except it's, so there won't be any wood underneath. It'll have these 3 rings. It'll be identical, and then we'll just, relay them over to the final piece and lock it all down.
Really cool.
Yeah, and then I wanted different from the last 3 tours, is I want to explain one of my projects a little bit more in depth, because I know I've been showing a lot of process and machines I build. And so these were some other pieces that I built. And there's a lot of research that goes into these. And like, for instance, if you're looking back at this diagram, so that's the aquatrope up there. And so this, within that aquatrope, this whole concept is about water. So I wanted to explore water and how I relate to water. And so it took me about 3 years to build that. And the research started from, we're all born from water. So, why do we take it so, for granted? And so in the middle of this piece that runs, it's very mechanical. It's a battery powered and pedal powered contraption you ride. And this took it to Burning Man for a few years. But so the middle disc is about birth. We're all born from, from water. And so it actually powers it. So that middle gear is a giant gear in there. And that's the chain comes, and drives the wheels. So it's all coming from that birthplace. And then, for instance, all these other discs that you see, there's an ocean within. It's like the different types of waters that we carry within us. There's a disc that talks about the spirit. It's a little bit more of a downer disc, talk about bleak, what we're doing to ourselves and why. And there's the wheels are about evolution. There's also a disc that talks about fellowship, like how we need to protect, our waters, and water as it's been kind of communicated over the years in different myths and different communities and cultures all over the world, and then how we're all connected through water. And water is ancient, and it's the same water that we're breathing in the air is from dinosaurs, basically. So it's so this kind of thinking, and I hadn't been showing it before, but it goes into all of my work. So I just wanted to share a little bit more.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then again, it's not just me, it's a team of people. So, some people that live here in the brewery, others, outside, but everybody's welcome to come. And if you're interested, you can go to richardwilksartist.com, and there's a volunteer drop down, or, if you can donate your time, or if you have any extra funds available. I know it's a little challenging time right now. There's a donation section too, and there's some merchandise things that you can buy that help support what we're doing with the forest, liquid forest, and the plastic pollution problem.
Cool. Richard, this is so great what you're doing. And I love the, what are we calling these? The jellies?
This is a jelly, but it's part of the liquid forest project.
Well, thanks so much. It was great learning about all of your stuff this weekend.
Yeah, so nice. I want to thank you guys by giving you a liquid forest glow-in-the-dark sticker.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate all the work that you guys have put into this. It's really been great. When you're not here, we're watching.
Oh, that's so great. Well, this is me.
Great. Okay.
Well, it was lovely to meet you. We have some people saying fascinating and yay. What else does it say? Sheila McFadden says, yay for solving the plastic problem.
It's solved. Come help.
RJ Wilkes says, thanks for saving the world.
Oh, that's my God. Thank you.
And someone said whoever invented plastic should be encased in it.
Yes, we're working on that.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks so much.
Have a good rest of your weekend.
Okay. Well, now we're going right across, right?
Yeah.
So over here, we're going to see some sculpture. Hello. Oh. How are you?
Good.
Will you introduce yourself? Tell us what's going on here.
Sure. I'm Billy Patchen, and I'm a metal fabricator, and I do all kinds of custom metal fabrication, from art fabrication to architectural projects. And this is my Instagram.
William Patchen. Amazing. And you can also find him on the Brewery Artwalk website. So what is this piece right here that's laid out?
So this is in pieces right now. It's a project I'm just in the middle of it. It'll be a lot shinier when it's done.
Yeah, it must take a long time to make all of these different pieces. So how do you get these kind of wrinkles or?
I used a torch. The table and just to kind of move the way I need to. So yeah, it takes a minute.
And do you use this giant contraption here?
Yep, I do. This is how I pull it up. So when I have it clamped to the table, I'll hook clamps to this, and then I'll bring the chain and pull it in different directions.
This is so great. And I'm obsessed with all the welding masks, so I'm just gonna show. This is a great space, and you do a lot of other stuff in here, right? Like I heard him saying that he was over here working too.
Yep, I definitely work with friends sometimes, and Richard Wilkes and I are good friends. We work together a bunch.
So cool. Such a great space. Thanks for sharing
Yeah.
what you're working on. All right, and then I'm gonna switch it. Oh, look, there's some more things happening.
Yeah, I added more artwork.
Oh, you introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, I'm Anne, and this is my artwork, Cat Roll. This is, I'm a cat obsessed. And these are a few of my pieces. The one on the left is, I don't know if you're familiar with Schrodinger's cat theory, the cat in the box, whether or not it's dead or alive. And the equations in back are pieces from string theory. So it's all kind of like this pun on science and cats. And that cat in the center is, I've done like a bunch of those, and it's just called Scream, just a scream cat. This is my Born to Kill Rats.
Oh, look at the little skull.
That actually matches the jacket I'm wearing too.
Oh,
I
cool.
made them into like a bunch of denim vests and jackets and stuff for that. This is my snake cat mural. I've done, well, this one's a painting, but I've done murals of it throughout Los Angeles and here at the brewery. It's my most popular painting that I've done.
The three-eyed snake cat.
Three-eyed snake cats, yeah. And then we have pill cats. I call them either happy pill cats or pill cats, but it's just kind of like cats to me are like taking a happy pill. They just make me just full of joy and bring so much light into my life. And then this is faux babies. It's like how people wear fake animal fur.
Oh my God.
So this is an animal wearing fake babies.
Yes. Oh, I love her. And then, of course, the epic.
Yeah, this is Smuggles. It's a costume that I made for a client.
Yes. So you do these custom heads?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me when I'm like wearing it.
Probably not.
But so I sculpt them out of foam, and then I get them vacuum formed with plastic, and I do it all from scratch myself. The eyes are clear resin and acrylic. I airbrush it myself after I cover it with fur. I trim the fur so it's like blended out. It's all this length when it starts. So it's this long when it starts.
So you have to like give it a haircut basically?
Yep, I give it a haircut and I kind of like shape around the eyes and, you know, the ears and like making this, like, I don't know if you know, on cats, they have little tops that come out the top of their ears. It's just like little details. This one has a clip in it because when stray cats get fixed, they get their ears clipped. So this was it's based off of a real cat that was a rescue. So this is the sign that got fixed.
Oh my God, I just think it's so great. So Cats Rule All, guys, everyone needs to go follow this. And then over here.
This is Mount Rushmore. This is a work in progress. I sculpted out wood clay and then I molded it with silicone and then casted it with resin, which is this stuff. It's like a hard plastic. And I afterwards I paint it all to look like stone, and then I add like little trees and stuff, so it looks much like Mount Rushmore, but way cooler Mount Rushmore.
Oh my God, I love this so much. I actually got you a little kitty.
You did?
Yeah,
Aw,
so this little
that's so
cat, like
cute.
in here, it like hooks on your glass. So you can put
Oh,
it on like your wine glass.
oh, that's so cute.
He's a
Thank
little
you.
kitty.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And then this is me.
Oh, thanks. Yes. I'll
Well,
definitely
thanks
follow
for
you.
sharing all of your art with us. And guys, make sure you check out Snake Cats.
Thank you for coming by.
Bye. All right,
So next we're going to Guillermo Burt.
Guillermo. Very cool. So he does 3D printing and laser cutting. And paint. I mean, he does everything. Mixed media artist. We're going to see him on the other side of this building here. Just give you one last view of the smokestack. It looks really beautiful as the sun's setting. This is Hip Cooks. They're normally open. I come in here and say hello. 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 Hi.
Which is beautiful. The video, we're watching your video. So cool.
Great.
Okay, let me. So it's got a little delay, I guess. You're live in two different places.
So you want to introduce yourself and give us
Yes.
a little rundown of what you're doing?
Guillermo Bert, and I've been here at the brewery for more than 20 years, originally from Chile, and I do mixed media art. We can start here from some of my more famous series, which is this encoded textiles. So what I do is I go to different indigenous communities around, in different countries, and we record the stories of the, like the medicine man or, poets, that they tell the stories in their traditional language. Then we capture all of that, and then we put it in a code and ask the weavers of these communities to weave it for us. So essentially, you can scan these pieces and listen to the stories. It's quite interesting to see ancient technology being connected with a more recent one and very current. And then kind of create, particularly young people, because they have a lot of tools with youngsters from schools and high school and stuff. They totally love this because they feel like they're closer to the language. And then these things doesn't seem to be so removed from their lives. Like, you talk about ancient cultures and this and that, they kind of tune it out. But through this work, they can really access to these ancient cultures. And, there's a really interesting exchange there.
That's so cool. Is this another one over here?
Yes, that was in the museum, Nevada Museum of Art, and it traveled around the country. Recently, this is from the Mapuche, from the south of Chile. And this I call it portals, because what happened is that the stories that you capture with your phone and listen, they're switching. So if a month from now I scan it, it's going to be a different story, another poem
really
or
cool.
different stories. So they all have their own software and their own program that they allow them to switch one story for another. These are from the Acoma, from the Southwest, and these are from the Mapuche, and I would work with the Mayan and the Zapotecs in Oaxaca. So there's a lot of cultures that they are producing these tapestries that they kind of capture their life stories in it.
So great.
There's some other stuff here we do with 3D models and laser cutting. So we piece them together and then become the 3D pieces with LED lights. It's interesting because you can see it from different angles, but also kind of they reflect to each other in different, so you can see it from the bottom and the top simultaneously. It's really cool. And then also the edges of these pieces, because it's been sliced, they look like pixels. So they look ancient and current and kind of high-tech, low-tech. Really interesting. I mean, I really have a kick out of it.
So Christine Jacobs says very fresh, and that it would be really cool to have a family history piece like the rugs.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we're doing with different culture. We're thinking about doing it in Asia too, because they have all the other more spiritual to it, but they have same kind of tapestries. so we can connect it together and you have a different experience. Not so anthropological, but more mystical maybe. And that would be really cool to have a different angle. And the tapestries, every culture has a different technique of weaving. You know, the actual looms are different. The actual colors palette that they use is different. So like look like mandalas or something. So it's this is beautiful. Textiles are amazing. We can talk about some of these tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
This is it's a recent exhibition that I had based on the Cola grant from the city of Los Angeles. And we, so those the prints are done, steels are done on metal. And sort of like we capture stories from immigrants that they cross the border and all that, and then I make a metaphor of the tumbleweeds, like they're going in the desert without a direction and in very harsh conditions. So I put the two together and I project these stories that we film into the tumbleweeds, and then we film the installation, I would say. But you can, of course, visit the installation itself. But we also, do stills out of them so that people can have access to it, and they're just really beautiful, actually.
Do you want to take us up there?
Let's go up there, and then. So these are some of the tumbleweeds, very detailed. There are people crossing the river in between Guatemala and Mexico, and there's thousands of people crossing. So it's really, this place looks like from a novel. So these are old stuff, like 20 years old actually. These sumo wrestlers. I used to do collage with street posters. We did a lot of stuff like that. I call it urban archaeology, because we dig through the layers of disposable culture, essentially. And that was very successful. Showed in a lot of museums and places, and had reviews.
So big.
And then some of this stuff is more recent. So this is like a doily. I mean, I used to have, my mom used to have doilies in the house. Like, it's really homey, something that you feel close to it, very warm. But in this particular case, in the center of it, there's somebody crossing the border, and then the doily become like really hostile because it has barbed wire. You have to go through it. So it's like going from home to a place that is unknown, hostile.
And how did you make that one? Is that 3D printing?
No, this is laser cut.
Laser cut.
So I do everything like in some graphic program, Illustrator, and then I cut it out with a laser and then kind of sandwiches in the plexi.
Cool.
And this is something I did from Zion in Utah. I took some photos and of the flowers and stuff, and they did a piece for this friend of mine, Michael Horn, that is in Palm Springs. Has this beautiful house in Palm Springs, mid-century house, and we did a big piece, like 6 feet. This is the prototype, but the piece is like really large. And these other pieces are similar, with scanning like terracottas from, and this is very good in explaining how the pixelation, what do I like about it's not just the copying and pasting and transfer the media, but also the look with the pixels. It gives you a real contemporary kind of low-tech technology. So it's really in between, because it's all like LEDs, lasers, and all this shiny material. But the color itself is like really interesting, and the look and the texture is really unique, actually. Some of this stuff is based on like ceremonial drums, and they become like how do you call it? Like a puzzle, like a
puzzle?
like a labyrinth.
Oh, yes.
And this one, more like a barcode, but it has that feeling on it that you were like tiny, you will have to go through it and then go around.
And are these barcodes scannable too?
Yes. I mean, because of the fact that, for example, this is white on white, you won't be able to scan it directly from the phone. But if you would ink it out and put it against the paper, then you will be able to scan it. It's just you need more contrast. But it's a functional barcode.
You want to tell us about this? We're gonna have to kind of.
Yeah, these are sound bites. So I was thinking that you will serve them, and then so they're like gold bars. So there's something really valuable and really something that people will believe that it has a value in itself. But in reality, they are just words that they are throwing around in TV just to make a point. And there's so much of that it's not a real dialogue. It's more like trying to make points, and it becomes like a vacuum way of communicating in a way. So sound bites are just a way to not say much, but just try to make points.
Great.
So I don't know if you want to see some of this other pieces that they are essentially with the original. These are older pieces that they are based on barcodes, the vertical barcodes, and you can they're all three-dimensional, burn it with a laser, and then we'll leaf it with the 24 karat gold. This is based on Notre Dame main tower, all made on wood with laser, of course. And maybe you can take a look, or do you want to see the thing in the back at the bottom? With yeah, this is like the city of LA, and then there's like some of the. So this is the negative space of the actual sculptures. Something I'm working on too.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Guillermo.
You're very welcome.
Well, guys, you'll have to check out more. I mean, there's so much to see in here. We can't see it all. We have some people, Sheila's saying this is so awesome. Some other people commenting about the political statements and saying that this is just really meaningful. So thank you so much for sharing, Guillermo.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Okay, well, bye.
Right,
Thank
see
you
you.
so much for having us. Woo. Okay.
Now we're going to Victoria.
Cool. So right ahead of us, you can see Barbara's at the brewery, which is kind of the local resident restaurant. We've got beer, great craft beer and cocktails. One of the places where the locals kind of hang out and meet each other. It's really cool because there's so many different kinds of artists here, and a lot of them get together and collaborate. Yeah, there's about 550 artists at any given time. This is the brewery office over here. Lots of shipping containers for storage, and as you can see, people have kind of created their backyards, gardens, patios out of some wooden pallets, making gardens. There's about 550 artists here at all times. There's 23 buildings, and all of it is 16 acres. I know I said this earlier, but it's considered the largest live-work arts colony in the world. It began in 1903 as Eastside Beverage. They actually survived Prohibition by becoming a soft drink bottling company, and then they were one of the only breweries to be in LA after Prohibition, and later became the PBR Brewery, which is where the Arts Brewery gets its name from. So we're going to see Victoria. She's another mixed media artist and sculptor, painter, photographer, dancer, all of the above. All the way back here. Hello. Let's see all this cool stuff. Hi. Good to see you again. Okay.
We're probably gonna want to close this door.
Oh yeah, go for it. Just show them your space. So cool. So hello.
Hi.
Victoria Sabans. Am I saying that right?
Yes. This is my studio. I've lived here for about 20 years. And I've been a dancer, poet, visual artist, photographer forever. Like everything I do is in the arts. So I also have taught 15 years of dance and 15 years of visual art. And in between and everywhere, I just create my own. So this is just a little bit of what I do, and it's parts of series because I tend to work in a series based on the concept and with the material. So, you want to go first? It's up to you. These are photos from Burning Man. I'm a longtime burner, 16 years. And I do believe it's the Renaissance movement of our time. These are images of myself and some others doing performance art. That's how I started out, combining both at an early age, and also used to do a lot of Earth Day celebrations and things. So
this looks like kind of like found pieces, but also photography.
yes, well, I was performing in this garb with the 3 heads for many years. And so I did a lot of performance art in and among trees, and with different installations set up with like tumbleweeds and birds and insects and things like that. And then, so this is just one of the first pieces that came out of them. But so that one is called Tree Spirit Singing. And then a lot of other pieces kind of just literally branched off from that. Okay, that one is called Resurrection. And that is actually the last of the Chaos series, which is up there. So, and you know, and again, it's like I love using wood. I love using bones. There's, you know, so there's skeletal remains in there. There's collage. I like using mirrors because it has that effect of, you know, like, look at yourself, look at yourself. I'm actually incorporating that into the Occupy series coming up. So that one is more focused on photography. This one is on, you know, again, painting and collage, looking at a still life that's slightly askew. You know, it's like when you just start thinking that something's wrong. You know, so this is all really about the anatomy of a problem as well. This one is chaos at its full place with all the wire and all the imagery. There's things having to referencing the Holocaust and things like that. So all this broken, funky wire and everything, and the bones are in that one. And so it's like, and that's where a lot of people are now. They're looking at things that I was looking at in the 70s and 80s and kind of going like, oh my gosh, we have all these problems, you know, and they're overwhelmed. That's what that looks like to me. And then this is when you start separating those things, and the regurgitation of the politics is pretty much where we are now again. And I love the little figure of the Moominchant's character at the bottom with everything kind of blowing up around you. You know, but it's, you know, the pharmaceutical industry is indicated in there. There's actually a like little cockroach actually in the pocket.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. So, but again, it's just about the anatomy of a problem. It's not that we can't resolve any of this. So that's really the darkest things that I have. And those were made quite a long time ago. Everything else is more turning around to the positive. Like, how do you solve those problems? And so, like with Resurrection, it's one of those things where all the indigenous people have to be coming forward and being the teachers for everyone else so that we can protect the planet. Right, so that's from my book, Penchant for Passion, and those are part of the Native series. They are rather large cutouts, except for that little one that's up there. And I like the idea of
cutting things out, sort of like the paper doll, but not quite. And hearkening to the wooden Indian, but it has everything to do with stereotypes and me transmuting that to something that is more organic and connected. Right. This one is Sacred Land. She's one of the first of the Venus series, and she has coral and crystals, handmade paper, feathers, a lot of things that I like to use in my work. This one, it does have watercolor and acrylic paint as well. And so everything here has a seed into the next one. So for the next piece that was done was hothouse flower. And a lot of that string, these kinds of lines actually ended up going into this piece. And actually, when this one is finally put where it's going to go, it actually has vines going all over the wall, you know. So it's not quite where it's going to be when it has its permanent home. That's about the passion that's inside of women. And like a hothouse that is supposed to nurture these beautiful flowers, a woman has to nurture her own body.
That's so beautiful. I love that.
Thank you. And then this is just a sketchbook of some of the ways I came about to parts of the series. So you can kind of see nesting in there. And then this one is My House, My Skin. And those are all already in the desert. But you can see how, like, this is the first drawing of this one. And then it just came into being. I had pieces that were there for like 15 years that all of a sudden just fit the puzzle. This is the one that's going to be a big challenge. This is Suspira, which I'm working on now. It's quite a little challenge because I want it all to have moving parts.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
Yeah. And then that's one of my illustrations I love to draw.
This is just pencil?
Yes. And that is kind of the idea of that primordial being kind of hung, suspended, protecting the world just with his feet. You know, like as he props himself up between the twig and the pencil. This is part of the Occupy series, which is I Occupy Myself. And there's words that go with each of these. And this one is going to be a small book, a womanifesto of sorts. And it started out actually as a dance performance and performance piece in a theater. And then I took photos and kind of recreated them into these. But they're all, you know, like, they're solid points for what we need to do. We need to declare that we are who we are. We have to declare that we want freedom, not only for ourselves, but for other people. You know, so we are functioning with free will. We have to cherish ourselves and be in gratitude for our life and the people around us, and especially during this time, we can really feel that. And then mine is, I own what I do. I am responsible for my actions and my choices. That is a huge part of freedom because you're acknowledging you're participating in this journey. And so part of that is also the really stamping of the words. And so that's why I'm working on these metal pieces here. They're going to be part of the installation. So this one's Walk a Red Road. A red road in Native American terms is a true path. And there can be many of those. It's just simply about knowing what that is by really functioning with your heart brain in order to do that. And then holding dominion is one of my favorite things that I tell my students as well. And that is that we are not supposed to be dominating any of the other living creatures on the planet. We are to hold dominion, to take care of. That's our role. And then with the no borders, we tend to put up walls to protect ourselves, but we can't keep that way, you know, forever, because then we get stifled. And so we have to break them down and know that that's something that we have to be flexible about. And then the other piece up there are
neon and things. I love working with light. One of the body pieces for the Venus series has a digital sequencer in her. I'm getting more into that mode where I really want light to play a part because of the colors and the frequency of color and how we respond to it. But
Victoria, I just want to read you some of these comments that I didn't want to interrupt you, but they've been coming in the whole time you've been talking. Will Esponda said, "Hi, Victoria. So fun to see you on here." We have Fanny O. Vincent saying wow to the art, and Christina Jacobs saying she loves it. Howie, we need art now more than ever. And Christina Jacobs saying easier to blame everyone else than take responsibility, which is true freedom. So a lot of great. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful space with us. It was so great to meet you.
yes, so lovely.
I want to leave you my little thing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Bye, Victoria.
Bye.
See you around the brewery. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
Now we're off to Andre.
Oh yes, the brewery staple, Andre. So you could see some more beautiful stuff. I really love the vines that are growing over here. These are so gorgeous. Yay! So we can see there's not a whole lot of giant murals outside at the brewery. They keep, the integrity of the buildings kind of super industrial and kind of bare, but this one kind of fit perfectly here and it was already made. So these are some of Andre's LA Sharks. And then he also has a mural on his rolling door here, which is the Viva LA sign. And I'm sure he will tell you more about that when we are inside. Hello. Hi.
Hi. This is our final pass.
I know, this
Wow,
is it.
Just as we were getting started.
I know, we had so much
Darn.
to get through together.
But I already understand that we're going to be going viral. It's viral, right? Is it viral or virtual? Whatever. It's a V.
It's both. It's all.
Read for the screen.
Yeah.
Wow. Great.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
Well, please come on in again. This is my studio, my kingdom. I call it the Kingdom of Color, or Viva LA headquarters. My name is Andrei Miropolsky. I've been here at the brewery for many, many years now. And a lot of the work that's represented right here in my studio at this moment is goes back a couple decades actually. I have it up now because I just had a Viva LA 50-year retrospective show at Google headquarters in Venice at the end of last year, and I had a Google talk about that show and about my work in Los Angeles this year. And this was all based on Viva LA, which is a phrase that I coined back in 2006, and have been working on it ever since. And now working with my Viva LA team, collaborating with my Viva LA team to create this a definitive icon branding to celebrate Los Angeles both here and overseas. Viva LA. So this is my mission at the moment. My most current work, the newest work that I've done, which I call my COVID series, are these pieces here on paper on the floor, these mixed media pieces, non-objective pieces on the floor, where like right now, what you're shooting right now, this is very 3D because it's all different layers of materials. It's not flat at all in person, so it has a lot of depth to it. And this is non-objective work, no objects, color, form, playing with each other. And I've worked in many different mediums in my career. And the Sharks, I call them the LA Sharks. This ties back to Viva LA, because the LA Sharks are kind of an ironic character that I've developed. They're all wearing sunglasses, and they have the ironic kind of smirky smile, which I'm trying to cast an LA vibe in a non kind of a non-rabbit form, just going from rabbits to sharks. So that's a good example. City of Angels with my three bad boy sharks on roller skates. There's just to me has an LA vibe. And that's my, I think that piece, that was a shark skeleton, was done for an event, for some kind of Day of the Dead event.
I love the fluffy.
The pink?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a sucker for the.
Is this a billboard that you did with the sharks?
Yeah, that was up last year. Yeah, that was a big billboard, and those are the billboards I've got. I don't know if I already said, but I've got 11 Viva LA billboards going up this month, all around Los Angeles County. And they're all that size. They're all big electronic billboards. And here we have a farmer's market with my farmer shark. I mean, they're funny. They're funny. Do you think they're funny?
I love them. To me, the smile's like lipstick. You know, like, when the girls in LA put the lipstick around the outside.
Exactly. Totally. So I think it's sardonic, right?
Let me just read you some of these comments that are coming in here, Andre. So we have Howie saying, love the fun colors in your art. And Caitlin Callahan saying, hi, Andre from Omaha, Nebraska. Love your work.
Wow, Nebraska.
Do you want to talk about these, the tulips?
I heard I got one from Paris yesterday. Somebody was commenting from Paris.
Yeah, we have a lot of different places on here.
Right. Gosh, that looks great there. But yeah, tiptoe to the tulips. These are a series of paintings I was doing with captions, working a caption into the painting. So obviously I'm making some kind of a declarative statement about the subject of the painting. But this character here is walking on flowers, on tulips, that all have razor blades inside. So if you fall off the tulips, you fall into the fire. And you have to walk very quietly on the tulips because your hands could get cut. I don't know, there's stuff going on in there.
Oh, we have Suzanne saying that she loves the humor and the colorful commentary.
Well, I really believe in humor. Even in dark times, I think that things can be given a humorous slant. So humor is obviously it is a very important part of my artwork.
Yeah, Fanny O'Vincent says that they like that.
Great.
Thanks for all the comments, guys.
Great, thank you very much.
All right, Andre.
And I guess hopefully I'll see you in 6 months.
I'll see you next Art Walk.
Okay.
Can't wait to see what you
Bye-bye.
dream up. Okay, take care. Okay, so now we're going to see Jill Sykes and her beautiful huskies. Hi, Jill.
I think the other beautiful husky is hiding.
Oh, that's okay. Look, I'm gonna just.
Thank you. Finally occurred to me that was a good idea.
It's
Contact
great.
me. Hi, how are you? Come on in.
Thank you. Just show the beautiful space here.
Thank you.
I love all the light that your studio has coming in.
I'm so fortunate with this gigantic window. I love this window.
Janice Chan says, hi, Jill.
Hi, Janice. And normally during Art Walk, I don't turn the camera around because that's one of my storage, but that roll-up door would be open and this whole place would be flooded with light. And it's the only time I open the roll up is for Artwalk.
Great. So you want to tell us about, did you make anything new since
I
the last time we were here?
I did. So this was one. It was on the drawing board. So I see yellow here, and I kind of enhanced the yellow on that. So this one is brand new. I mean, it was here on the table with a drawing on it, but this is more of the collaborative work that I was doing with Jane Zabo. So there's that piece there with the photographic transfers. So these are smaller pieces, so they'll be richer and shinier looking when I varnish them. But the process is she transfers the photograph on some methodology that I didn't witness, so I can't really tell you about it. But she's transferred it onto these panels, and then I painted over them in oil. And so these are like very pink and yet white spring magnolias, kind of very abstracted a little bit. But again, I'm focusing on this shape of the exterior shape plus these interior shapes. And this one has a pretty heavy outline in that kind of navy blue, sort of a navy blue. I was trying to pick up on the blue background that she had in her photograph, which is from snowy upstate New York.
Beautiful.
Thanks. Thanks. And we didn't, where are we focusing now? Where do you want to focus?
Well, I'm looking at these three wooden ones.
Oh, these three panel pieces. These are Chinese elms, and these are oil on wooden panel, and they're each made of 3 20 by 20 panels that have been bolted together. They're 60 by 20 inches each. And the background is a kind of a thin wash, like I said, so you can see the grain of the birch wood on the panel. So I sealed off the panel first with a clear gesso, and then everything else is oil paint. So, and the outline on these guys is a very thinned out gold. So it just kind of gives you a bit of a shimmer. And again, really focused on the spaces between the branches and the leaves. So I think of them as little individual abstract paintings, even the tiny ones, because everyone has to be really, carefully thought out. So these paintings generally take 2 or 3, sometimes 4 layers of paint to get the opacity that I'm looking for. But that golden in the corner there, the gold is a very thin color to paint with. It's very transparent. So it takes many layers of gold to get it to be solid like that. And hanging it next to this big, beautiful window, you can really see the shimmer. It's really beautiful.
Sheila McFadden is saying beautiful.
Thank you, Sheila.
And we had another comment that I missed. Janice saying love, love, love this series.
Thank you. And these guys are also gold, but they're gold leaf. This is paint. The red one's paint, and the other two are acrylic on gold leaf. The red one is all oil paint.
So you do the gold first, and then the white is on top?
I did the gold first, and then I sealed it off, and then I put several layers of white over this because I wanted it to be very, very flat and opaque and no gloss at all. So the surface of the white is actually very matte. This is shiny and this is matte. So that contrast really appealed to me. Every one of these is an experiment. Every single time you're trying something new. And I really like the gold, which I didn't think I would like gold, but turns out I like it. And I mixed it with the silver. Oh, that looks cool. Put the white, oh, make that matte, make this. Every single one of these is an experiment. So, and this one here, we haven't talked about this one. This is a printout of a door that I was commissioned to design a couple of years ago. And this is actual size of a front door on a house. So the doorknob was like here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's an 11-foot door. And it went in a new house out in Brentwood, I believe. And I had done another project for this architect a few years before that was, I sandblasted well, he sandblasted, I gave him the design, I made the design, around the whole exterior of a house. And so they sandblasted this design onto the exterior walls of the house. So they're three-dimensional, actually, quite fabulous.
I think this is in reference to the gold leaf paintings, but Deb Van said, I concur, love all the components. And then Christina Jacobs says, my kind of door.
Yeah, fabulous. It reminds me of Steve Martin, LA Story, where everybody has a big door. So these, let me just point out these guys really quickly.
Oops, I just did a full circle.
That's all right. Sorry. Fix the window. These are some monoprints I did here a couple of years ago on my press. I've got a little press over there that's kind of in the corner at the moment. So these are all Japanese maple is what these are. You can hear the dog in the other room. I have to let her out in a second. And then this is a white agapantha. This is oil paint. Again, a lot of focus on the shapes between all these little individual abstract paintings. I have to release my dog in a minute. She's suffering. These two go together as a diptych. This one is on linen. This is white oil paint on linen, and this is on regular canvas, but they speak to each other. So I did a series, these two, that one, and that one, from a bouquet of flowers that somebody sent me several years ago, and all these eucalyptus leaves kind of dried and curled, and the shapes were so fabulous. I literally only threw them out like 2 weeks ago. They were sitting in a vase in my kitchen, and I finally said, you need to get rid of this junk. These guys are new. They still have tape on the outside. They haven't been varnished, they haven't been photographed, but they're sort of part of a series like this one. They are also on panel like this. So that's oil on panel. And then now we have the laundry. My beautiful laundry. That always cheers me up. I just think it's got such a movement, and the silhouettes are so nice.
We have Will Espada.
Oh, hi, Will.
Saying, hi, Jill. The new series looks beautiful.
Thank you.
So great. I love the little bras.
The little bras are great. I have some collectors who suggested I use a different piece of very manly underwear, which I keep asking, well, if you'll supply it for me, maybe I'll do that. They have not come through, which I find kind of hilarious.
And all these little itty bitty socks. Okay, I see Dustin there, which means we probably have to go, but I want to show this one.
This piece is called Justice, and it is my homage to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, obviously. So this is her dissent collar that she would wear when she disagreed with the ruling of the court. She had all these collars that she would wear, and each one had a specific meaning. This one said this one said that. This particular one was her I dissent. And I have my little pin again right here. I dissent. So we love her.
Thank you so much, Jill. It's been so great to see all your art.
Fantastic job.
Thank you.
Thank you. You really focused on the work and you asked questions.
Great. Thank you. Well, bye, doggies.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you around. Oh, geez. If I don't die first.
Don't die on my property.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
We have some people, I'm going to read these comments on our way out. We have some people saying that they love the laundry transformations.
Thank you.
Bye, Jill.
I can do more. Bye, guys.
Bye. Over here, this hideous purple is Kevin Flint's yard, and he's my boss. So he's doing the other tour, Dystopian Studios. We're heading over to Emily Halpern, who does amazing oil paintings, really large scale. Hello.
Welcome. Welcome to my studio.
Okay.
This is 10 years worth of art school to be able to write my name like that. I'm Emily Elisa Halpern, and I'm an oil painter. I tend to work on large paintings, as you can see, and typically I paint things that are in the news, so contemporary events. And while that may be depressing at times, what I try to do is use color to convey hope and the surface quality. And yeah, it's like this old proverb that you can only see the stars at night. So through darkness, there is light. So, let's
What are those little oil pecker things called?
Those are, yeah, the oil rigs, the derricks, oil derricks.
I don't know why they just are so ominous and like evil
Well, it's
looking.
like man-made destruction. Really. And so I don't consider myself a figurative painter, but how can you do the Black Lives Matter without showing bodies? So I started painting the figure again. You'll notice I don't show the face. And in my other paintings, I'm just concentrating on the legs and seeing, can I convey emotion just showing legs? So, self-imposed project. And I'm a very process-driven artist. So that means for me, I don't know what I'm going to paint before I paint it. And so that's pretty tough. So what helps me is to disorient the process. So I have this custom canvas, custom structure built so I can turn the piece while I'm working on it until I finally discover what it's supposed to be.
It's so cool. We have some comments coming in. I just want to read you. Christina says, nice necklace, Christina Jacobs. And then
I made it.
you did?
Yeah.
And then Samuel Richardson is saying, hi, Emily, your Black Lives Matter paintings are brilliant. Again, Christina Jacobs saying, wow. And Marshall Vanderhoof saying, super cool, rotating the work, love your work.
Oh, and I would like to shout out to the Federers who were accidentally on group A, so thumbs up for persevering, and to Pal in San Diego.
Great. This is so beautiful. I'm gonna get in here and see. I hope you guys out there can see the texture here.
And these two are companion pieces. Sometimes I work in a series, and the light on this one isn't so great. But for instance, in this painting, I try to use just a couple of things of it, perhaps after a fire. But then I leave it like completely blank. It could be an ocean scene with a ship. So my intent is to make it ambiguous so the viewer can make up his or her own story.
This long canvas, did you get this one from Kevin?
I did.
We found them.
Oh, were you part of this?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
thank
have a
you.
couple in our studio still.
Okay, yeah, my neighbor Kevin says like, Emily, do you want canvas? Of course. I'm like a pack rat, always finding things to paint on. And so that was very interesting to try to paint on something
Yeah, it's so large.
this large. Again, you see I'm just using legs.
Yeah, that's so nice. The female figure is like, and what I see it as like floating. Oh, and then.
Yeah, well, this piece, sometimes you just have to embrace the darkness. So, it is what it is. It's called When the Blinds Are Closed, and it's made of steel and razor blades and glass. It's like doing something that you're afraid of. So I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but it's cool.
I know, I can't believe you got them all flat like that.
Yeah, it was painful.
Ouch.
This is a smaller piece I've done.
And what did you call this one?
This is a happy little bridge to nowhere. So even though COVID is upon us and it's swirling around in the air and there's a bridge to nowhere, my intent is to be like, hey, it's okay. It'll be all right. And so that's the use of my color choice. It's not black. Another leg piece. This is called My Addictions.
Oh, I didn't see this one.
This is related to it. This is called Your Sweet Little Lies. And did you see this one? And you'll notice that some of these square canvases are exactly my height. I'm 6'4". Well, you can't really tell. But I use the scale of 76 inches to invite the viewer into my own personal headspace. Pride. And finally, Patronus.
Yeah, I love all the colors in this one. Emily, thank you so much for showing us all your art.
Thank you for doing this.
It's been so great.
Thank you,
I know.
everybody.
I hope we do. I hope we do another one. I'm gonna leave now.
Okay.
Bye. All right, so now we're going to Telemachus, right next door to architectural design and fabrication. So they actually were the architects that we were talking about earlier in the smokestack building. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Great.
Hi. My name is Carl Smith. I am an architect. I run this firm here with my wife, Melinda. We have 4 employees. I'm here to show people a little bit of the diversity of design that happens here at the Brewery Artwalk. So this is our workspace. We have a few employees that work with us, a big model table. That's a example of the kind of work that we do. That's a project in Santa Monica, single family home we did a couple years ago. You're welcome. Come on in.
Thank you so much.
How's our walk going so far?
It's going pretty great. I've seen so many cool things so far. I'll be sad when it's over, actually.
So this is more of our workspace, our conference room, and these are all of the projects that we're currently working on. So mostly we do single family, but things like this one is a spec home, sort of lower end. This one is a much higher end, sort of hillside house, a little hard to tell from that rendering, but in Culver City. That one's a multifamily project. We have a few, this is a bigger multifamily project we're working on in Santa Monica. So, you know, a little bit of everything. We've done a few projects here at the brewery. These models are examples of projects that we work on. So when we work on design for these things, we kind of go back and forth between hand sketches, we build sketch models, and then when our projects get resolved and move through the plan check process, sometimes we build final models of them.
I love how these flowers are the trees.
Yeah. So these are examples of a couple of recent projects we did that we built final models for. This one is a very tall single family residence in Santa Monica. This one is a 2-unit small lot subdivision in Venice. This one we have permitted. We're hoping we'll start construction soon. That one finished about 2 years ago. This is an example of some of the hillside houses we do. This is that project. So this was a study model that we worked on for a while. So we rebuilt this one a couple of times to figure out exactly how to get it the way we want it. But this is a house in Laurel Canyon. That's the street side right there. The garage is some kids' bedrooms with a big deck on it. That's the master suite is on that side.
Christine Jacobs says, I wish I could shrink myself so I would have a very nice house.
Small houses, super easy. Models, super easy. The big ones are what, actually they're not too difficult either. It's the cost that's difficult with them. So most of the stuff that we do are spec houses. These were both spec houses. They were built by a developer for sale. Actually, that was a spec house also. These two are custom residences, meaning they were built for someone specifically. We do both kinds of projects, and we do multifamily work. Our things that we're interested in tend to veer a little bit more toward industrial. So part of why we like this space so much, we like exposing steel and wood and cheap materials for the most part. And that is what we do. We also build some of our work. So we have a contractor's license. We build cabinetry and we build parts for them. So we do millwork and cabinetry for some of our projects. We design a lot of kitchens and interiors. And that's what we do.
And this is your other place
Yes.
at the brewery.
Yeah, so we live at the brewery, my wife and I, and we now have 2 kids. We've lived here for about 20 years. That is our space that we usually have open during our walk that we built about, say, 15 years ago with a partner.
And Marshall Vanderhoof says, Telemachus is awesome.
Story. So Marshall, you will go and see in a few minutes. I think he's the next couple stops on tour. They have a beautiful piece of property out in the desert, and we designed a little remodel house for them. It's a really cool project. So awesome.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I love that you're designing all over the place, but also for people here at the brewery.
Yeah, we love it. Living at the brewery has been fantastic. In fact, it's pretty much all of your neighbors are super cool and doing something interesting. So that has been a great feeder for us. We moved to the brewery when we graduated from college, so we would have stuff to work on. And our career just sort of grew from there, and we've never moved.
Great. Well, thank you so much for showing us everything.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. We're nearing the end, guys. Now we're going to see Marshall.
The teal.
Teal. Teal and Marshall. So we're rounding out. You can kind of see some of these amazing gardens. I love how everyone's is so unique. Hello. And here we go to see Teal's and Marshall's backyard. Hi.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Are you tired? Are you drunk? No. It's soon. So, yeah, I hope everybody's been having a good tour. We're wrapping it up. So I moved some things around just to keep it interesting.
Oh, great.
Since not big things. But, so since the last time you were here, I managed to get all the ribbons on all the ornaments. Yeah, and I've sold a bunch of ornaments. So that's cool. Hand-painted Christmas ornaments this year. Yeah. So
for anyone that doesn't know, do you want to introduce yourself and your other design business?
You guys haven't been on with us for 2 days? Sorry. Yes, hi. I'm Teal Hathaway. It's pronounced like the color teal. And this is my studio. I'm a painter. My focus is architecture. Streetlights play a big role in that these days. I also have Pearl and Maud, which is my design studio. And we developed and sell fabric and wallpaper based on my art.
Oh, I see them over here.
Yeah, I moved the pillows down so they were easier to see. So this is a Pearl and Maud creation. These are all fabrics I've designed. These were just put up on my website a couple days ago. And they've got velvet backs, hidden zippers, sewn right here at the brewery by one of my talented and amazing neighbors. So these are all available, custom, made to order. If you're excited about it and you need a different size, let me know. Oh, I brought this out too. So these are the thing that nobody knows about yet unless they watch these tours. My Pearl and Maud holiday gifty thing is cocktail napkins, fancy cocktail napkins. So I will be cutting these out and sewing them before too long and stitching them into fancy little cocktail napkins. So that's what's going on with that. And art, I have art. So these are paintings about architectural motifs. A lot of it is classical in nature, and it's the push-pull between the formal, structural, highly organized classical features and my desire to kind of help everything fall apart. So yeah, I've got these guys. These are also over here part of the architectural kind of feature series and work that I do. I'm very much interested in negative space, light and shadow, obviously color. But for a long time, I worked in a very neutral palette in order to really learn about form and light and shadow. And I really pushed myself to learn it. And then when I brought color into it, everything really kind of sprung to life. So I work with a lot of color now, and it's awesome. Makes me happy. And these are some small, these are acanthus leaves. I actually turned these around for you guys because they can go either way. They're on frosted plexi and they can be flipped around and be much more soft, but I noticed that they didn't read as well. So this is what they look like. And these are different cultures' versions of the acanthus leaf, like the Scottish one, the Greek one, the Moroccan acanthus leaf, and everybody kind of had their own version. Well, not everybody, right? But lots of cultures. So these are what remains of a larger series for an installation that I did. Every element in these pieces is a feature of a street light from around Los Angeles, and I made abstract paintings out of them. And they're also on frosted plexiglass, and they hang in really cool ways. They can hang from a ceiling. They can hang in those weird spaces between doorways that are often too narrow to do anything else with. They really create space. You can hang them in the middle of a room and create architecture with them. They're super fun. and they're translucent, and people walk in here and the expression on their face is shock because they can't figure out how I electrified it, because they think that the lights are turned on because it's gold leaf, but it's just the way the light hits it that it makes it look like it's actually electrified. Those guys. These are my early COVID paintings that are obviously much more muted, softer. There was a lot of uncertainty and I was looking for softness at the time. And so the two on the outside are on the brewery property. In fact, this is the smokestack. If you can kind of squint and picture this shape, it's the top of the smokestack. And then a light out here in the construction yard. Yeah, and this guy is over across the property from it. And then I also did another version when you were in here earlier, I forgot. So the center guy is the Wilshire Special. I've painted it a number of different ways. And earlier I was saying, I had just finished one. I had just delivered one to this very important collection and blanked out on what the collection was.
Yeah.
I actually delivered 3 paintings, including one of this guy in this hot crimson red and fuchsia to the Bellagio Hotel. So
I love the drips on this one too.
It was very moody, and it was a very moody time. I suppose we're still moody. I'm just forcing myself.
We're just getting used to being moody. We're adjusting.
Turning to general malaise. So yeah, and then I needed some color and more content. So friends and people on the internet started sending me photos of the street lights on their walks and in their neighborhoods as they ran errands in their very small circuit neighborhood environment. So we've got this one is in Portland. This is in Georgetown, Pasadena. This is in Maryland in my friend's parking lot, you know, where it's just lighting his parking lot. He said, I don't think it's particularly pretty, but you want photos of lights, and this is what I see. And I think I really like this one. Another friend managed to sneak his family away to a rural vacation place, outdoor camping. And this is what they had, and I thought it was great. And they're pink, actually pink, which was cool. So something interesting about this light is that it's perfect for what they call dark skies compliance, which means that it forces light down. So it prevents light pollution. So that's perfect for a rural, outdoorsy kind of place. So, and then we've got Munich and some international cities represented here as well. So yeah.
So fun.
Thanks.
Ooh, let's get a shot of the website.
Oh, yeah, there are the ornaments on the website. And there will be more coming soon. I also this year for the first time put up gift certificates. I know a lot of people are excited about work and their loved ones saying, yes, let's get them something, but they have no idea what, right? And so art's very personal. So I'm trying out gift certificates this year. So if you know anybody who is interested, that could be a good present.
That's great.
What else do I have to tell you guys? Oh, okay, so like down here, we'll just go into personal stuff. These guys, really excited about this. I know it doesn't look like much, but we're building a house, and that's my floor.
Oh yeah, we were just talking to the architect.
Oh yeah, Carl, who you just saw, totally. Carl designed a house for us, and we're in the midst of building it in a pandemic, and it's amazing. It's super cool. It's a huge project, but I was really excited about my floor.
That's really fun.
Yeah,
well, thanks for showing us all this really cool stuff, guys. And Teal's stuff is all in the chat. So thank you for having us in your studio.
Yeah.
And
thank you so much for joining me. And thanks for joining us online, everybody.
Yay.
Have a good weekend.
See you soon.
Bye.
Brewery dog. Hi.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Now we're going over to Marshall. Good. How are you?
Excellent. You guys are getting close to the end. Thanks for sticking out for all the people that are still on the Zoom and YouTube. It's awesome. So I'm Marshall. You can find me at mjvphoto.com or on Facebook or Instagram. You guys have been here a few times. I've tried to change out some of the work, but I've got something special this time. I'm pulling out some work that is not on my website. So you guys can see it. This is stuff that I don't always show. So what we're looking at is a series that I did that's infrared photography. So I took apart a digital camera and changed the filters in it so that you did not see visible light, you only saw infrared light. So it changes the way things are seen. And like I said, since I don't have these on my website, I figured I would show them here. Infrared is kind of a unique thing because it was developed by NASA for outer space, and then a lot of fine artists figured out, hey, this is kind of cool, and we get to play with it, and we can do different things with it. So that's that. And one of the other things that I haven't shown a lot of,
oh wow,
is I haven't shown a lot of my night photography, and that's one of the things that I do a lot of. So I love being out in dark skies and being able to see, you know, these stars that when we're in LA, it's really hard to see. And so we don't get the opportunity to see them very often.
Marsha, where were these taken?
So this was taken in the Eastern Sierras, which it was south of Mammoth. And it was really, really cool. It's a cool area. And I was at a really high altitude here. So there was it was really clear skies. And then this one right here that you're looking at, that looks almost like a sunset in the middle of night. This was actually taken at about 2 a.m. in the morning. And this is actually the light pollution from San Diego. The marine layer was coming in, and so all the lights were reflecting through the marine layer. And I was about an hour outside of San Diego, and you could just see the marine layer blowing in from a distance. And so it was really cool. One thing that I will point out, so this tree and these trees, they were all in a field, and they were part of a fire. California having fire, right? But right after this time that I went out there and shot this, there was another fire, and that whole field lost all of these trees. So the trees that were taken with this series, that I took during this series, are all no more. It's one of the things that's really hard as a photographer sometimes, because you lose things that you see and get to shoot.
We have a question here from, I think, Sheila McFadden. Is the sky enhanced in these photos because it's so bright?
So the quick answer to that is these are long exposures. And so when you do these long exposures, the skies just kind of become alive. The stars are not enhanced. The darkness is a little bit tweaked to make sure that you get rid of the noise, because they are digital photography. So they are cleaned up a little bit from that standpoint. But other than that, they are what the sky was reading.
Cool.
So I figured, like I said, I would show some stuff that you guys hadn't seen and probably won't see on the website. So these are some of the prints that I do have available on the website. If you're interested, if anybody's interested in any of the infrared stuff, by all means, email me, get a hold of me, and it's super interesting.
I love this one. Is this in LA?
So this was in La Jolla. And this was really a cool time because this was shortly after it rained. So there was no people. This is kind of a step here. And normally there's a lot of people sitting out there. And so because it was right after it rained, there wasn't people out there. So it was a really cool opportunity to take pictures in an area where there's usually a lot of people. And then this is Redondo Pier here in LA. And this is another night shot from the 395. And then I have another Redondo Pier in here somewhere. This one's also Redondo Pier. So this is also local. So for the people that really like the local stuff, I do have a lot of local stuff. This is LA. This is a building in LA. This is Chinatown. So I do have a lot of local stuff as well as a lot of stuff that's from all of my travels.
These are so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very lucky. So I haven't really talked too much about my process, I guess. So with these, the frames, so my dad's a woodworker. And so all of the frames that you see in here, that you've seen in here throughout the weekend, all of them have been made by my dad. So all of the frames are handmade. I cut all the mats and I do all the print work for these myself. So it's all kind of hand done that way.
And these are the ones I didn't get to really show that are on metal.
And these are the ones that are on metal.
These are so cool, Marshall.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your studio with us.
Of
It's been really
course.
cool to get a little glimpse inside.
Yeah.
And before I
thank
go, I want to
you.
show them this. I'm getting delirious. I'm like forgetting did I show this yet? Or was that last time?
I mean, this is crazy. It's actually Frankenstein together. There's so many different pieces. As things break, I sort stuff because people give me stuff. But this is how I develop my black and white. That's the print. So I want to say thank you to you guys, to all the people that helped put this on, because it was great. You guys were awesome, and I really appreciate it. And I love the energy and the excitement that you guys have done all weekend. So thank you. I'm sure it's close to cocktail time. So
Thanks, Marshall.
have a great
We'll see you
day.
later. All right, we're going to our last artist, Francine. Here we go. So you can see the smokestack in the distance now. We're on the opposite side of the brewery than we started. Hello. We're doing the virtual art walk.
Awesome. Have a good day.
You too. This is actually the building that I work in. So in the front, there's Poetic Kinetics. They do giant sculptures that they send all over the world, Coachella, and they do some really cool stuff. There's a bunch of people that work there. And then there's Diavolo Dance Theater where I work. And on the other side, OTMFC, which is a really great crew of film and photo equipment rental. And here we go up to our last artist of the day. Hello. Hello, hello. How are you?
Oh, hi.
Oh, you're going to want to pause that. It's going to feedback if you have. You're going to want to pause the computer. She was watching, so we're pausing. Otherwise, we'll get some feedback. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Oh, I said welcome to you. This is the end of the day for me.
Yes.
How are you?
Everybody, hello.
Hi.
My name is Francine Lecoultre. I am an artist and designer. And what I would like to present is paintings and sculptural objects. And I will start with the latest creation here. This is one I just
did. And let me not be in the light. So these are paintings actually done with silk screening, and I inserted 3D printing component, and I created this contrast with these claws that kind of come out of the painting, and also playing with colors. Like I like the red, this kind of fluorescent red, pretty aggressive, bloody. This looks like little pills, or you can just take it wherever you want. And these are more like organic, which is one of my palette, also the natural side. So here we have a collection I did a few years ago, and it's corset. I still work on the corset. They're made with plants, and it's quite, they're really based on the real pattern of the corset. And this one, for example, is made with artichoke leaves, and they come from the garden of Liz, from the loft at Liz, where we had the exhibition. So it's, for me, so special that she grew this artichoke, and then this is an art piece made with that. So, and this one here is also with plants and with crystals, and that's, yeah, that has been like almost like stitched like a real corset. And the other item, I love plants. I come from the country in Switzerland, so I love garden and eating, green. And these leaves here has been molded with rhubarb. So it's actually the actual leaf of rhubarb. And I really love these plants because they have these veins, like almost like human veins that come out of the leaf. And this one is with LED lights. And yeah. And here we have a costume made with the rhubarb leaves. That's for a dancer. Her name is Gila. She's a dancer from the Cirque du Soleil. And the photographer is from Vern Evans. He's an incredible photographer at the brewery. And I love that piece, actually. And from the nature, also, I like things upside down. This is a dripping painting, and this one is a wave. I love inspiration from, I take inspiration from many different places, from Japanese, from Gothic, like these are these Gothic roses. I like also oversized elements. Tropical flowers.
I love these Gothic roses.
Yes. See, I have no problem playing with different periods. I grew up in a 300 people village in Switzerland, like smaller than, less people than the brewery itself. And so I love this medieval pattern. You see, like this gargoyle pattern, or these kind of steampunk patterns here. Also, I love the Renaissance here. And I like to mix actually with 3D printing element. I like this antique combination with technology, and kind of creating surprising, like I can kind of surprise myself. And here these are my paintings. So this one is called Les Voyageuses. And as you can see, they were boots. Like I love, I work in the movie industry, so we are always in action, and it has to be comfortable. So like you have your combat boots because you are like on the, yes. So we are boots women, right? Stiletto is for another time.
We're over them.
We're over them,
it.
exactly.
Maybe not everyone, but we are.
Yes, we are. Yes. So this series here, I like to work on several paintings simultaneously because I mix medium, you know, I will start painting and then I will maybe use airbrush and then I will come again over. So they represent, I call them like women warriors. And this one, for example, they kind of like cows characters. And there is this wire, you know, like barbed wire. And I give attention to the half and the horns, like this one, for example. Also the half and the horn and the barbed wire, because around our house in Switzerland, it was a barbed wire in the field. So we would always have our mother say, be careful the barbed wire, and then it became the electric wire. So it was always something to be, you know, to be careful about. And then the others here, this is fire, and this one is a dance, Renaissance. I call that the Renaissance dance. I love, you know, the Renaissance. They had this costume, this hair, this choucroute, sauerkraut hair.
Sauerkraut hair?
Yes. You know, like Marie Antoinette, she had these hats, and, you know, maybe I mix the period a little, but I love that, you know, like playful and opulent. And these fabrics here has been created for movies. This one, these are alien fabrics. So they are like made with paint and silicone. And I love, you know, they're a little disgusting. Like, well, how do you do an alien? So that's, but the three-dimensional of it works really well. This is another Japanese rose. And now I want to show you this time a little bit of technique. You see that I said I do silk screening, and it is my favorite technique. You know, this is a screen here that I use for the silk screening. And this is a pattern. I like oversized patterns sometimes. This is burlap. You know, burlap is the sack material, and I made screen with the sack material, and then I combined, and then I used the pink chaparelli, you know. So I like to combine really random material, like simple, and make it kind of chic somehow. And let's say, so these are my screen. You see my film. So I have film, and then with all the patterns, and then I keep them because I reuse them most of the time. So everything is cataloged, and sometimes I would do like a unique piece. This was for Will.i.am Black Eyed Peas. It's a flocking with crystals, and for a show in Paris at the Cirque de Paris. And it was really an exclusive piece, but sometimes I do 100 yards of fabric with many colors. So it's very physical, you know, you keep your muscles in good shape. And what I wanted just to let you know what is my mission, because I think it's important. See, like my mission is the future of the next generation, and also, you know, the technological revolution, and keeping hands, you know, keeping hands work alive. So I have a program for apprentice program, and have young students, young apprentices coming to learn the technique with their world, you know, like the digital world is also very important. And I am creating now new fabrics, you know, new elements, like these are what I'm interested in the 3D printing is creating things that you cannot do another way, you know, like this is a material, and the nozzle of the 3D printing has done that, but you could not do it with another tool. And sometimes also I have to duplicate a piece. This is a bracelet I bought in Nepal from the State Treasurer of Nepal. I did that for a project. And then I duplicated the bracelet in many different sizes, you know, even make it like funky. And so I think what I see, so many possibilities. You know, I created also little rings, they're on 3D printing, and then they have even, you can change the top, you know, like, so sometimes I play like a little girl, you know, to create. So I want to create a line of jewelry and objects. And yeah, that's, you know, I like, for me, it's important. Playful is very important because we're so driven with result and is it good or not good? But I think it's very important for young people to embrace art and find a passion because it takes many hours to do this. So that's what I am interested in.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for showing us all of this. I want to make sure we get.
Oh yes, we have this. Yes,
this light up one.
So that's another corset. And it has also, it's a leaf embossed pattern, and it has also LED lights. Oh, and more up there, yes.
This is so cool. And how long have you been at the brewery?
I've been here 10 years. And I love, you know, the brewery. I love collaborating. I call other artists at the brewery my angels. You know, Billy, the metal, we did a piece together. And, sometimes I am, there are things I don't know how to do, and I knock at the door here and there, and you get so much support. It's really incredible amount of knowledge and generosity. It's really fabulous.
Well, thank you so much. I think that's a great way to end the tour. You're our last artist of the day, and I think you summed it up nicely, what living at the brewery is like. So thanks, guys. I'm going to zoom in on this clock because we're counting down. Thank you so much for joining us for the virtual tour, and check back in on the website to see what we're doing in the spring. Goodbye.
Thank you. It's a wrap. Thank you so much. Wow. Excellent.